Are we live yet? Yes, we are. What up, everyone? Welcome to another stream. Welcome to the GG Incorporation. Oh, today it's probably the last day of the last stream of the year, I guess. Feeling a little bit sick, not gonna lie. Maybe getting a fever or something, not quite sure. Maybe it's COVID, who knows, man, who knows. But hey, nonetheless, we are here, streaming, making some cool stuff. Let me see what's going on here. Alright, Osama Ibrahim, what up, man? Welcome. Valentin Montimiral, thanks for the PR, by the way, Valentine, or Valentin, whatever I need to pronounce your name. Thanks for the PR on Hollywood. Right, let's take a look real quick here. Hollywood. As a PR, pull request 6. Updating dependencies to remove CSVs. Maybe this one, enhancing code clarity, comprehensive comments for newcomers, no source code changes. That's actually a very nice PR, man. Look at that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So I'm gonna check it. I think it's gonna be good because there were actually not really that much comments. So that's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What are we building today? So let's go back to fast. The thing is that I'm probably gonna rebrand this project here, to be honest. But hey, this is what it is. First things first. So today we are going to look at that. This beautiful thing I made, man. So it could be that I'm a little bit slower, because I just took 2 Dafalgans instance. So I'm gonna be completely whacked out a little bit. If I'm asleep, just close the stream, you know. Let me sleep. Let me sleep on television. Holy crap, man. What up, man, sir? What up, boss? Sina Claus represent, yeah. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we are going to do instant rollbacks for our application. This can be closed, actually. Oh shit, it's the wrong one. Damn, son. What's going on here? Where is this thing? It's on my other screen. That's bad. Let's clear the screen real quick. Zoom in a little bit. CD. Is it fast? Yeah, it is. Go up. Alright. Oh, it's on the other screen. Ay, caraca. Alright, let me show you our application we built. Main examples. It's like I said, it's working in each language. But I still need to test out some other stuff in JavaScript and all that stuff. You're gonna see the support for this is going to be very soon for all languages, right? So we have a simple handler here, and the only thing we do is we write a response hello from my handler, right? And let's say version 1, right? So let's compile this real quick, right? I'm gonna compile this to WASM. We're gonna make run. It's gonna boot up a WASM server and our API server, and we're gonna visit this thing, open up, boom, hello from our handler, version 1, right? What is this? Is basically you can compare this with Cloudflare workers, but the problem with Cloudflare workers is it's V8 with JavaScript. Not everyone writes JavaScript. You know what I mean? This is WASM, which works for every language. Yeah? And the deploys are instant. Cold starts do not exist because it's fast. Yeah? This is the open source version, which is free to use. But I'm also going to build a cloud version in the cloud with multiple servers behind the DNS, so you can deploy that and in the cloud, your application in the cloud, any language, and it's going to be served if your users are going to reach your endpoint, your app, it's going to be served from the closest region. You know what I mean? On the edge is what they say. When will you pull the code base to Git? it's already on Git. Lars, what the hell is going on? Let me look at this. Strepsils. Strepsils. Fucking throat hurts like a it's crazy, man. Like I said, I'm really, I don't feel too good, but hey, I also went to the gym and all. It's, I don't know, man. I just cannot sit. I just cannot do nothing. It's crazy. Sounds familiar, this sound, isn't it? That sounds familiar. Okay, so how does it work? Well, let's start from the beginning, right? Let's say this doesn't exist. Let's open up Tinder client. Like I said, I'm gonna be a little bit slower because I'm whatever. So we're gonna open up Tinder client, and we first gonna make an application. So we're gonna post to our application, and we're gonna give it a name, and we're gonna say my awesome application, right? My awesome application. We're gonna post what the fuck is going on? Name of the application below and 3 and less than 40. Is this an... Okay, whatever, man. It is what it is. The problem is that my camera is basically blocking everything. Let me... Yeah. So what's happening is we created a new application, which is a container, which is basically, it's going to hold all our deploys, right? So we're going to have an ID here, right? This is our endpoint locally. This is basically, let's try this, right? So we just create an application. Let's paste that in. Wait, we need to... Oh, yeah. Of course, it's not gonna work because there is nothing here. The question rather is why. I need to fix some stuff. It's gonna be localhost, right? Local, man. Localhost, Anthony. Alright, the application does not have any active deploys yet. True, because we didn't deploy. So now we're gonna deploy. What are we gonna deploy? We're gonna copy this ID. And we're gonna post to application/id/deploy. And we are going to post a binary. And that's going to be app WASM, which is basically our application we compiled, right? So we're gonna post that. We're gonna send this, and we're gonna have a response, right? So we're gonna have this, a new deploy ID. This is our app, a hash, and maybe later on some more fields, yada yada yada, right? So if we refresh this, now we're gonna see that we deployed our app, version 1, right? Which is basically this thing here. You know what I mean? But let's say we deploy a couple versions, version 2. Let's do that, right? So let's make a version 2 here, right? Let's make OX, let's compile this, make a run, right? So let's basically man, I'm actually so fucking slow today. It's just insane. Yeah, so we're gonna deploy again. So we're gonna select this app WASM, and we're gonna deploy again. Now we have a problem here, actually, to be honest. Not quite sure why that is. Connection was forcibly closed by peer. That's crazy. Yeah, of course, because I reset the server and we have everything in memory. I'm a complete idiot. I'm so sorry. Anyway. Yeah, it's all in memory, right? I don't save it into a database, it's just in memory. So I basically killed my server to compile my app, and the memory is cleared, right? But you get the point, right? So we're gonna deploy a version 1. We're gonna then deploy a version 2. But let's say that version 2 is basically, I don't know, there's a mistake, a big bug or something. The goal is to do a redeploy, a rollback to version 1 in the blink of an eye. That's actually what we're gonna make. All right. For the people that are just joining in, took too much Dafalgans. You know what I mean? If you don't know what Dafalgan is, Google it. Because I don't know, I'm sick. I'm getting sick. Let's say that, right? So let me think on how we're gonna do this. So let's make run here. Wait, server, not this one. Quit the API server. Let's do something like this. We're gonna say Gember Citroen. I know, man, I'm doing this all fucking yesterday, the whole evening, but I don't like Gember. Deploy, we're gonna say rollback. And yeah, we're gonna post to rollback. I think that's good. Post to rollback, and we're gonna call this function handle. Create a rollback, actually, why not? That's gonna be good. Handle, let's copy this, let's paste that in here. Handle create rollback. Alright. If we do a rollback, we need to have a rollback params. How do we do this here? Let's copy that. This is basically holds the parameters. Create rollback params. Holds all the necessary fields to roll back your application. Let's cut it down here. To a specific deploy ID version. That's what we're gonna do. And there is nobody on the fucking planet that is live right now that can do these rollbacks so fast. Maybe Cloudflare, but that's only JavaScript. And we support all languages. Create rollback params, right? An app ID. And then so we have an app ID. Rollback, yeah, okay, cool. So the rollback params, let's do something like a deploy ID, UID domain. No way. Do we need JSON? We probably do. Rollback ID. Actually, it's not true. Deploy ID. Camille. Yeah, Camille tea with honey. I know. I have both of them. I have Gember and Camille, man, yesterday. But I drunk only Gember with honey. So we're gonna get the app ID, then we're gonna get the application, right? We're gonna say app is going to be an error. It's s store get application app ID. If r, look at that. I got something cool. If r presenter. Actually, to be honest, let's copy that. Boom, boom, boom. Then we have an app, right? First of all, we also need to deploy. So we're going to say deploy r is going to be s get deploy. We need to get the params first. Let's just check app first. Actually, let's validate. Params. And then we do a demo. Demo. You're gonna see how amazing this is gonna be, guys. I swear to God. Params create rollback params. And I'm so sorry that I'm slow because yeah, Dafalganos too much. New decoder r body decode and params r is of course not null, then we're gonna say this, paste that in, is a bad request in it. Now we have to create rollback params, so we're gonna get the ID by params rollback. They see me rolling. If r presenter, copy this, paste that, and we're gonna say status not found in it. Status. Thanks so much, Yogurt. Yogurt, thank you for the donation, man, of the chat or whatever you wanna call that, the super chat. Thank you so much, much appreciated. You guys don't need to donate anything, but hey, if you wanna spend some money on this old G, why not? Thank you so much. Status not found, probably, right? Not point. We got the deploy, we got the app. So the only thing we need to do, if we go to types app, we're gonna see that we have an active deploy ID, and that's basically what we use to point the request to the correct version of your deploys. Oh yeah. And you can see that if we do make run real quick, there is a seed application. Yeah, of course, we cannot make run because let's do, yeah, we're gonna later on. I'm gonna close these screens because it's too much for a Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. The only thing we need to do is basically say app as store update application UI ID app ID storage dot update app params. Let's do some clean. Let's be clean. Hela ba. What's going on? Boom. Update params. Yeah. And we're gonna say active deploy. Wait, why are we not using active deploy? Active deploy ID, let's do that. That's a little bit better. ID. Right. Active deploy ID is going to be deploy. Yeah, we could do this or that, doesn't really matter. And then we put in the params here, the update params. Do something like an error, right? The error is not null, we're gonna check that, and then we're gonna do, I don't know, what's it gonna be? What can you do? Status not found, it's gonna be bad request or something. Bad gateway, bad request. And then we need to return something, isn't it? I have no clue. Let's do something temporary, write JSON, W, HTTP, status OK, map, string, any, this, deploy, deploy ID, something like that. And now we have an app for no reason at all. But we need that. Why? Because before we actually before we decode these params, let's check if the app exists. Then we do the roll. Then we serialize this. Then we get the deploy. Then we update the app. And it's fine. So what we also need to do is invalidate the cache. Very important. Because we cache the modules, compiled module being cached. So, but let's just, we need to do that because otherwise it's not gonna work. Where is the cache? That's the question, eh? Do we have a cache? Memory? Cache? Mod. Cache. Put get. Delete maybe. UID. Let's do an error, just for the sake of doing an error. Shouldn't you get ID instead of app application? Wait, shouldn't you use app get ID instead of app ID? What if the app does not exist? Then we already returned, innit? Then we already returned. So we get this app ID. Because it's already validated that's a valid UID, so that's good. We get the application here. So if we don't find the application, this is gonna return a JSON, so it doesn't really matter after that point, I think. But that's a good catch. Maybe it does. I don't think so, but hey, let's do copy that. Default mod cache get is gonna be delete. UID is gonna return an error like this, and rlock. That's not true. That needs to be a lock. Lock, defer, C, mutex, unlock, C, cache. No, it's not true. Delete, C cache, ID. Return null, because we could say yeah, but there is no error. So why is it returning an error? Well, it's because it's an interface, right? So this delete is an interface. So maybe in this case we don't return an error, but maybe some other implementation is going to implement an error. Because, well, if you think about it, you could return an error if the key does not exist that you're trying to delete. But who the fuck gives a shit, right? If you're trying to delete something that does not exist, I mean, it's like, doesn't really matter, right? If you check your Tinder for matches that do not exist, I mean, doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? So now we need to invalidate this cache. Actually, what we also could do is, if you have a new deploy ID, is get the WASM, compile it, so the next request is going to be super fast. That's a good idea, Anthony. Thank you. Update the application, invalidate the cache. S cache delete. Wait. We need to be careful because or we actually could compile it and override it. Thomas Bird, check for Tinder matches that does not exist. So all of them, yeah man, you can actually throw that app, throw Tinder away, it doesn't work. No matches on Tinder, just a skill issue. Yeah, also. But the thing is, Tinder, it's not for me, man. It's like, it's just not for me, because you match if you have one, right? And then these fucking cocky bitches, they just wanna, they do not say anything to you, right? Because the balance is not right. There are too many men and too less women. So we, as normal men, Sigma males, we need to basically be punished by all these other soy devs on Tinder talking gibberish to these girls. Huh? What are you doing? And all these stupid opening sentences. So if we match, this girl is already fucked up by all these other guys. So what are you gonna do? Not much. Not much. So it's very simple. You just, if you have a match, the only thing you write is, hey handsome, when do we meet? Question mark. That's the only thing you need to do. Hey handsome, when do we meet? Couple possibilities can happen. Or people, or some girls say, hey, he already wants to meet, and she doesn't reply. That's bad for her. She lost a big opportunity. You know what I mean? She lost a big opportunity because she doesn't know that we are from the 1%, unfortunately. So the next is that she's gonna tell you like, hey, hello, sir. Meeting already? Question mark. Delete. Get rid of her, right? Get rid. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna chat about what? Right? What are you doing? I don't know. I'm watching TV. Oh, I'm also watching TV. What are you gonna do tomorrow? I'm going to work. Ha 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 ha. I'm also going to work. How was your day at work? Ho ho ho, my boss. Ho ho ho. Ho ho. Also my boss. Ho ho ho. I mean, what the fuck? How many days do we need to do before we can actually meet? You know what I mean? It's a waste of time. Trust me. Always the same. But I want to have good conversations, man. Good. Oh man. Let's see how the sex is going, and then we can think about good conversations. Let's get that out of the way first. You know what I mean? Let's get that shit out of the way first. All right, what's going on here? You're dating older girls. 20-year-olds are literally impossible. I have no fucking clue. In my time, they were actually very possible, but also impossible. True. Easy companion for vacation. Started with your channel 1 year ago. Now I'm using Go to create application for embedded systems. How crazy is that? This kind of value and for free is godsend. Thank you so much, Mirkea, Mirsa, Andone. 10 out of 10 impressions on Tinder. That's how Tinder works, man. Like, I'm a human being, you know what I mean? I'm just like you, right? So we have the same things in our life going on. So no Tinder anymore. It's just a fucking waste of time. I swear to God, right? Right, and to be honest, the only matches are basically it's the ugly girls that matches you. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm a handsome man, but I'm also not gonna say that I'm an ugly motherfucker. You know what I mean? But the matches that I get on Tinder, what the hell is that even? It's like, whoa. So the moment I get a match from a beautiful girl, something must be fishy. You know what I mean? Something must be going on. This girl is fucked up somehow, because how is she? It's fine. Listen, the best chat. What's going on with this chat? Your best bet is to basically find your girl with your friends. The wife of your friend, the girlfriend of your friend. That's the one, because that's where you need to go. But do it slowly and don't make sure he knows or she knows that you're basically stealing his girl. Back to business. So invalidate the cache. Yeah, let's just delete this. Let's store the old ID here. App ID is this one. This is app, right? I'm gonna say current deploy ID is going to be app dot active deploy ID. Actually, yeah. We first gonna do our list of checks, blah 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 blah, and then we're gonna say as cache delete active. Wait. Yeah, it's fine. It's the cache we delete. Doesn't really matter. Active deploy ID. That's not true. Current deploy ID. Okay, that sounds very good. We need to do everything in one pass now, because we're saving in memory, right? We're saving in memory. Let me open up main examples here. Examples version 1. Make run. This one, application. I'm gonna create a new one. I'm gonna call it Tinder wrapper. Tinder swiper. We're gonna call it Tinder Swipe. Boom. We have Tinder Swiper created. Now we're gonna post our version 1 to the Tinder Swiper, which is gonna be /application, this one, deploy. We're gonna post our WASM, binary app WASM, just click a couple times. We're gonna post this. Yes, so now it's deployed. So now we can actually open up this ID, I know. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna make a CLI tool also for you guys, swear to God. Okay, hello from my handler. We should actually call it, so let's deploy version 2, right? This is version 1. Now we want to make version 2. But Anthony, be smart and deploy it here. Vim. Why are we using Vim? We can actually changing it here, right? I mean, version 2. Hello from my handler. Tinder Swiper. Right? Version 2. This is version 2. Go here. Go make X. Make example, right? Make go example, right? Just the make file thing. So nothing is gonna change, right? So this is just, you see, I'm pressing enter here. This is just version 1. We compiled version 2 and we're gonna deploy this thing right now. How do we deploy that? I actually didn't test if it's gonna work, to be honest, this deploy thing. So I'm gonna deploy again here to the app, to the same application. We're gonna take this WASM file, which is the new compiled file. I'm gonna send it. Okay, we got a new ID here. It's perfectly fine. So if we now go back here, yes, you see, we deployed version 2. Hey, easy peasy, instantly. You're still configuring AWS Lambda. You know what I mean? You're still crying. You know what I mean? Okay, Tinder Swiper. So what we could do is actually go to app, application / this one. That's going to be our API because 5000 is the WASM server thing. Alright, boom. So you can see what's going on here. Deploy history. We need to fix this. You see, there's a bug here. We don't have deploy history, which there are deploys. So that's what we need to fix, but that's no problem. Tinder Swiper. You could make a new app. Tinder Swiper Dev. Tinder Swiper Staging. Tinder Swiper Q&A, Tinder Swiper Production, Tinder Swiper Production Canary A, Tinder Swiper Production Canary B. You know what I mean? You can make as much app as you want, and you can have versions. This is just insane. I don't understand. Why? I just woke up with this idea. I don't know what it is, man. Now we're gonna roll back. We cannot close our application because it's all in memory, right? So, how do we do that? Wait, this is version 1. Shit. Does somebody remember the deploy ID of version 1? This is deploy ID version 2. Shit. Because we need to application deploy and we need to post to rollback, but we need to post the ID of the first one and I don't remember. This is so bad. How are you scaling? Well, we scaling. Let's the scaling thing. So what's gonna happen is this. Let me open up. Because people say, how do you scale that? Well, this is the open source daemon. The open source server is one server. But wait. Uno momento, por favor. So, Excalibra. So, how is it going to scale this? Look at that. There's already scaling. You see this? So, we have one server here. AE West. I don't know where this is. Wahaduhu. I don't know, man. Asia. Let's do US, whatever. US North. Not quite sure if that's the thing. But. So this is gonna be one server, alright? One server here. servers here, and servers here. Right? So you deploy whatever you want to deploy, doesn't really matter. If a user makes a request here, it's going to hit the DNS server, which is this thing, and the DNS is going to check where you are. Let's example, you're coming from AU West, so it's going to pick one of these servers in AU West, and it's going to execute your WASM here, right? Another user request comes in. Oh, that's for US, so we're going to pick one of these here, right? Another request comes in from AU West again, so we do it here, but this node is telling us, yo, we are busy. And how do you do it? Hollywood framework, open source, npm/Hollywood. Oh, we are busy. We have too much. We are busy. Okay, no problem. We're gonna reroute this request to this server, and this server is going to whatever. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's how you scale. Well, that's how I see it scaling on the top of my head. You know what I mean? We have a cluster, and this cluster is going to schedule everything on the edge. Didn't think of it too in depth, but that's what I can come up with on the top of my head. Okay, meanwhile, we need to find this deploy ID. Oh man, this is so annoying because now we need to... How can I get this deploy ID? Or I need to do it again, probably. You gotta be kidding me. Is there some kind of an... we need to do it again, because I don't have deploy IDs. Because if I need to roll back, I need to post here. Roll back, right? For example, here, roll back to this application, JSON. We need to give it a deploy ID. Deploy ID. ID, please. ID, please. So I can give it this one, and that's probably gonna work. But this is the version 2 deploy ID, so it doesn't really matter. We need to check that probably in app, so we don't deploy 2 times, right? You see, so this is the deploy, but this is a wrong deploy. So we're gonna start all over again. But first of all, we need to make sure that this application is working here, so that we can check the deploy history. You know what I mean? Why is that not working? Get application. Hang on, get application. We do app, store get application. How do we want to... Is this a memory simple store? Fuck me. It's fine. Okay, let's do it over again. Example go. Yeah. So we're gonna make Tinder Swiper, right? Hello from Tinder Swiper version 1. Okay? Version 1. Make go X. Make a run. Gonna create a new application. So annoying. I should actually save these requests, right? Tinder Swiper. Tinder Swiper dev. Okay, cool. This is the application ID. Nice. Let's do application/deploy. This one. Deploy. Binary. This app WASM sent. Okay, cool. Now we need to save this. This is the idea for deploy. Very importantos de la para aquí. Okay? So we're gonna copy this. I'm gonna actually paste it in mod cache. Actually, to be honest, in the readme. Here, paste this. Deploy ID, right? This is our deploy ID. Here, in the readme. Fine. So now, let me search this thing. Here. Application. Okay, it needs to be this one, but we go into our WASM server, not the API server. 2 servers actually. Press enter. Okay, hello from Tinder Swiper version 1. Easy. Not to mention the time wasted from the UI. Yeah, true. So I'm gonna make a simple. I'm gonna make two things. We're gonna make a UI in the cloud-hosted version, a UI where you can just press buttons and see your logs and metrics and all that stuff, right? So logs are getting captured, and you're gonna see them. Probably stream them also, and I'm gonna make an CLI where you can just deploy. It's gonna compile, it's gonna send, and it's gonna do everything with just one thing. Just like boom, and it's online. It takes from creation, so from posting to deploy to serving your request, clicking on your request takes the first time takes it takes 50 milliseconds. 50 milliseconds. Press enter and directly refresh 50 milliseconds. So a deploy takes 50 milliseconds. No, not a deploy. A deploy and serving your app takes 50 milliseconds. Who is doing this? Nobody. Correct. Of course, there are small binaries, so let's... But hey, if I can... Okay. Tinder Swiper version 1 is live, guys. Okay, next one. We're gonna compile Tinder Swiper version 2 because for some reason we swiped the wrong algorithm. You know what I mean? We're swiping the blonde girls, but apparently we want the black-haired girls. You know what I mean? The dark hair colored girls. We just want another type. You know what I mean? Version 2. I'm gonna compile it here. Make GoX, right? So now I'm going to go back to our API. Deploy. Yeah, deploy. We're gonna select this WASM. Hopefully, we're gonna send this. Okay, this is version 2. Look at that. Boom. I'm gonna copy version 2. I'm gonna paste version 2 in here. If we refresh, you see version 2. We have version 2 deployed. And now we're gonna roll back. All right, we're gonna roll back to this guy here. Let me. Can I do this? Paste it again, so it's in my clipboard because I'm autistic. App. Rollback. We don't need a binary. The binary doesn't matter. We saved the binary. The binary is in the fucking cloud. We need JSON here. We're gonna roll back to the deploy ID, which is gonna be this ID. Sent. Yes! We rolled back to version 1. But oh no! Version 2 was still good. Paste. Help. Okay. We are back at version 2. You know what I mean? So, one more time. Man. Version 1. Easy. That's rollbacking. That was good. Now all I need to learn is how to create WASM from my test code. Yeah, so the next step is, right now, what I'm doing, because it's in Go, I'm supporting the full Golang stuff. Right? The next step that I'm gonna do, probably tomorrow or next week, is support JavaScript, TypeScript, JavaScript, whatever, same thing. And then I'm gonna keep adding more support because there need to be some libraries, a little SDK. For example, you can see that we need to import here I'm gonna rename this project needs a better name. This project is so good that it needs a good marketable name. This is $1 billion company name, not this one, but the new one. So you need to import the SDK. Why? Because we do handle func, so you can actually use idiomatic handlers for this project. You know what I mean? And if you want to know what's in this SDK, it's I'm also going to document what you need to do to make an SDK in your language, because you need to write to linear memory and WASM and yada yada. It's not too big of a deal. I will document it, so maybe somebody can make a PR for their language, right? But I want to support very quickly Golang, JavaScript, Python, Rust, and all these things, right? May even know Camel because it's hipster. What do you think about the tech lead? I have no fucking clue. The tech lead. Who is the tech lead? Man, I don't know. This guy's a scam, right? I mean, what the hell? What? This guy, like, leave him be. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Actually, what I should do is, if we post to app. Instant rollbacks. It was that easy, to be honest. How do you support JS? You can't compile it to WASM, or is it possible? You need to compile it to WASI, right? I think it's gonna be JavaScript, WASI, probably Yavi. I think it's Javi with the G. Shopify functions. Everybody's doing functions, but I'm doing it with WASM. Here, Yavi. This is the thing you need. Quick JS. It's a small. There are enough. There are enough. You can compile it to WASM. I will make it. I will make the SDK. I will make the SDK, right? And then you just need to import. Because you can, it's fine. I'm gonna provide that. I'm gonna make it. My goal is to have the biggest and best user experience you're ever gonna witness. You're gonna basically be from not signed up to deploying your first application in 1 minute. In 1 minute, that's my goal. In 1 minute, you sign up, you deploy it in 1 minute. Who is doing this? Strepsils. Strepfin. This is actually, I cannot use it so much because I'm streaming my... That's the only conversation Tinder needs to know. Yeah, Yavi. With Yavi you can compile it, but yeah. Yes, right. So that's good. One thing I want to do basically is, of course, this is in memory yet. I'm going to support a couple of databases to save. So what I want to do is, if I make run, there's going to be one seed here. This one, right? So you could do take the API. Application, boom. This has a deploy history, okay. And that's because I'm using this from main. Can I close these things, man, with my mouse? Don't save. Yeah, Panty's deploy history, you see that? So I think what we need to do in deploy server API server. You can have you can have 20 deploys, right? And you can just pick which one you want to roll back to it. Isn't that just amazing? I mean, you could do so cool things because it deploys so fast, it spins up so fast that you can, depends on what happens, you can deploy a function, deploy one of your versions, or it could be different apps. You're gonna pick them based on whatever you need to. Monday you pick this app, and maybe Monday afternoon you pick another app. You just holy crap, that's crazy. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, deploy. Here, we're gonna create a deploy. I need to think about how this store interface is gonna work, because look at that. Storage here. Create application. Update application should actually take maybe deploys or something. So we can add a deploy. You see, I don't want to spend time right now thinking about this interface, because you cannot make 20,000 functions for store. That would be just BS, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Research. I see your videos all the time, but never was able to catch a stream. Rollbacks in the term of deploys like BG. Yeah, BG, I don't know what you mean by that, but it's basically just what we did is we have two versions of our app. So we deploy version 1, we then deploy version 2, but for some reason something is borking, right? A bug or something, you want to instantly deploy back to version 1, right? That's what we just did. That's what works. Yes. I'm not gonna keep the stream too long today, because like I said, my throat hurts, I'm not feeling too good. But I didn't know that these deploys were so easy. So what I actually want to test real quick here is experiment. So what I yesterday did is something like let's do requests is going to be error HTTP get. The problem is I need to dial these because get is going to return TLS. Problems I need to fix. But I think net dial is going to work because I can actually dial just Google TCP. That's what I'm working on yesterday, having dial working. Google.com 80. That's this one. Log fatal. Actually, to be honest, we could do W write error byte. Just like that. Let's do something like byte r is going to be IO read all request body. What the hell? There's gotta be a connection. I did a get yesterday. The question what it is. What did I do yesterday then? Maybe I did an HTTP get, to be honest. Actually, I can just write bytes right here. Yeah. Let's compile this real quick to see. Migo X. Let me see if it's gonna work. It's gonna be this application here. It's already seeded, right? This one. Easy. A small little proxy. I wrote a small little proxy in WASM, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? Of course, it's going to be a little bit. It's just a proxy. You need to do a lot of other things to make it work. It's just reading the bytes and dumping them on your fucking screen. You know what I mean? That's good, right? The problem is HTTPS is a problem, right? Because it's going to... I need to fix that still. The TLS need to be fixed. You see, TLS failed to verify certificates, so I need to fix that. And also another thing we need to do is actually make sure that the environment variables are working. That we can post them with an app, right? So we could do something like byte from Tinder swiper. Skill point. One quick question, okay? If I would want to include HTMX in your Golang plus Echo temple, I would just add the HTMX script tag. Yes, correct. Exactly, that's what I would do. Just add somewhere in your head, script tag, HTMX, import it all, and then just use it. Perfectly fine. From Tinder swiper, so we could do something like, actually, that should be... That's fine. fmt println, which env, let's say API key. API key, which OS is very important. So that's, we're gonna also make a UI where you can set your environment variables, or you can post them with your with the API. So OS get env API key. So we're gonna do something like this. The API key. We tested it yesterday, but we didn't test it with creating. Actually, why I'm doing it? I can just do this, this, and this, right? Yeah. So I can do this. I'm gonna make go X, right? It's not gonna work, right? If I refresh this, it's not gonna work. What's going on here? Oh yeah, make server maybe. That would be nice. Okay, from the Tinder swiper, right? But we don't see the API key is empty. You see, empty API key. Why? Because we don't have it set. Application types, let me see. No, servers. Let's open up API, servers. Create app. Create app params. Environment is going to be a map string. I don't know how it... Environment. Yeah, that's fine. If that's empty, that's no big of a deal. So what we need to do... We have environment, yeah? Okay. We don't want to have this in the JSON, right? We don't want to dump your environment variables in an API. That's not what's going to happen. This is probably the environment here, isn't it? Yes, it is. Actually, why don't we just put the params in new application then? Why don't we move create app params into types, and then new application will take in a create application params. Isn't that a little bit better? Environment. Wait, first of all, very important, my music working. Here. Wait, did I make mistake? Like I said, my grammar is so bad, man. It's crazy. People call my English underwater English. And can't blame them, to be honest. Alexander, I really like the research you're doing. It's really fun to follow along as somewhat beginner Go developer. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. You keep up the good work to spend your time here with me, with us. Wait, are we gonna... The question rather is, should we... Environment variables should be application based. Which means you make an application for Tinder Swiper where you're gonna deploy I think if you want to do a deploy, you need to post the environment variables. That would actually be sick. If you could basically post environment variables for each deploy. Because then you can have Tinder Swiper version 1 needs these environment variables. But then you're gonna deploy to version 2, which needs another environment variable. So you can only load in the ones you need per version. That would be sick. Because in Versal, for example, you just dump in all your envars. Right? And if you need to delete it, you need to delete one. If you need to add one, you need to add one. But wait, how are you gonna do that in the... What if you want to change one? Otherwise, if you do a rollback, won't work. Joe Slap, it's true. I think, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do them based on a deploy, but you can post for a deploy. Because what I think is annoying, right? What I think is annoying is if you deploy something and you forgot to add your environment variables, you need to go to Versal or whatever, and you need to fill that, or to Lambda stuff, and you need to fill them in, because otherwise your app will bork. Or you already first need to create them and then do your deploy and then check. So it could be that we just can something to think about, because there are a couple options here. I would think, let me open up, the application will have environment. But with each deploy, you can post some environment variables that will override the existing keys. Or create new ones if they don't exist. So it basically means that each time you roll back, it will automatically override the... I think that's a good plan. So you will end up with all your environment variables that are needed for all... Yeah, actually that's true, because you're gonna have... Where is Excalibra? Because if you do that, let's say... Hey! Yeah. Let's say you have... Who is Bar? This is your app, right? Who is Bar? And API key is gonna be Hunter 1. You're gonna deploy version 1. Why can I not ban this? Yeah. But that's fine. Version 1, you already added your API keys. You're gonna deploy version 2, which gonna have the API key is gonna be... Wait, that's a problematic problem. Actually, you need to make environment variables based on here, I think. So each time you post, it's gonna make this one. It's gonna make this one. If you post a deploy, and then this is gonna make foobar API key, and we're gonna create something else also. It's something new. I don't know, swiper dirty. Then you're gonna deploy version 2, which is gonna override this key, and it's gonna add this key, right? Wait, I need to copy this. Right, so it's gonna override this key and add this key foobar stays the same. But if I roll back, API key is going to be replaced by hunter, swiper is gonna stay, and foobar is gonna stay. But then how do you remove one variable on deployment version 3? Well, let's do the examination. Version 3 is 3. I know you guys laugh at my 3, but I don't know what it is. 3. Version 3. Well, you're gonna say like, copy paste, Anthony. Who is Bas? Bork. So if we deploy version 3, which only, well, it does not depend only on foo. It depends on all the rest also, probably, right? Or not. It doesn't matter, because this is your app in your app global container. So foo is gonna be replaced with Bork. Apparently, deploy 2 doesn't need foo. Override all. Actually, yeah. Why didn't we think about that? We don't override them all, right? But then you cannot forget to add your environment variables on your deploy. Because if you forget, let's say that if we do not have environment variables in a deploy, we assume we're going to keep everything like it is. The moment we have environment variables, we're going to replace them all. So if we... This is version 1. Then version 2 comes. So this is going to be API key. Foobar is going to be deleted. And swiper is dirty. Right? And version 3. Foo is Bork. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something to think. I don't know what's the most interesting, actually, to be honest. If you send to an empty string to remove. When you miss an important, the app should panic. Yeah, that's trigger a rollback. That's actually a fucking cool idea, man. But yeah, actually, rolling back is on panic is a very good idea. The problem is that if something panics because of user input or something that you didn't catch, it's going to roll back, but that's going to be a vicious circle sometimes. You know what I mean? But actually, it's a very good idea because you could actually use. I'm doing some experimentation, right? So you could actually use the SDK or what the hell? My caps are on. What the hell's going on? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going on? VS Code. Yeah, what you could do is actually programmatically roll back, right? And deploy. Rolling back is so fast. Rolling back is so fast that you can actually do it programmatically. Because let's say you're it's actually a nice idea, to be honest. So let's say you're browsing and there is an error on AWS Lambda, right? You cannot roll back because then your user has nothing to see. You know what I mean? Your user is, what the hell? It takes a long time before it's deployed. But if you, in this case, you can roll back and instantly serve the new thing in milliseconds. Programmatically. Huh. I think if you voodoo empty string is not a good experience in my opinion. I don't think there is something like an inconsistent state of environment variables. The only problem that can occur is that you do not have an environment variable or the wrong environment variable. Having environment variables on your application too much is something that happens all the fucking time, right? Because you're gonna add environment variables and then you're gonna maybe swap from MailChimp to SendGrid and you still have the MailChimp API in it and a new SendGrid API key. Happens all the time. But posting environment variables on new deploys is a very good idea. Also on rollbacks, because, well, on a rollback, you already have the new environment variables in the database of your deploy ID, right? API key. So let's say this is going to be this one, right? And foo is bar, right? And you're gonna migrate, or you're gonna go to version 2. Stays the same. This and a new API key. You know what I mean? If you need to roll back to version 1, stays the same. Swiper will stay here. Why? Because the app container needs to cover all your API keys, for example. You know what I mean? If you, I don't think it's a problem that this is still here, even though you go back to version 1. And even if you go to a version 3, where this is going to be swiper, million. Stay the same. Stay the same. This changes. Maybe there is something new here also. Cat. Cat is dog, right? Just, you see, this is version 4, right? Now it points to version 4. These are your environment variables for version 4. If you roll back to 1, then this is going to be API key this, and that's it. Right? And if you migrate to version 4 and you don't care and you want to delete some stuff, you can, right? Let's say you point back to version 1. Let's you roll back to version 1, which basically, and you're gonna manually delete these two. And you're gonna migrate back to version 4. Well, then it's just going to put these back in. You know what I mean? No big of a deal. I think that's the best approach to have some duplicates. That will lead to that will never lead to an inconsistent state. Never. Keep the old was can give you an unpredictable state. Why would it be? It's like a migration. If you migrate your database from A to B, you're not gonna migrate all your fields, right? You're only gonna add the fields that are new. Of course, if you roll back your migration, you're gonna remove these fields. That's also true. That's also true. Oh man. I'm doing everything to basically numb my throat. Everything. This you can only use 2 sprays 3 times a day. And this is, I don't know, I been spraying the whole fucking thing like it was mosquitoes. Oh yeah. That's... But how can you deploy to version 4 without having version 1 and 2 and 3 deployed? That's weird, isn't it? But I see what you get. I mean what you get. I see. I mean what you get. I understand what you want to say. What you mean. Strap throat. I don't know what it is, man. Strap souls. Sore throat. How do you say that? Broken throat. Borked throat. I'm just... COVID or something. I don't know. Maybe. Cool. There's a couple things I need to figure out. But that's more like API stuff. What's next? I think documenting how these things work and letting users just try it. Because before an hosted cloud version can occur, which is hopefully the goal, I need to do a lot of security checks. Well, not security checks. I need to limit a lot of stuff, right? I need to limit a lot of stuff because, for example, body sizes, right? Because of WASM, we want to limit this. That's very important. Limit the memory size, limit file descriptors and all that stuff that can be opened in the WASM runtimes and all that stuff. That needs to be limited. Body sizes, like I always told that. Execution duration. Maybe I'm gonna have support for long-running processes. Like I don't know, maybe this. I don't know. I need to check. First things first. Let's do not make the mistake over-engineering everything. Let's just keep it simple. Keep it user-friendly. Fix some security holes. Put some limitations in. Support Go. Support JavaScript. Deploy it for a bud. Deploy it in the cloud for some beta testing where you can try to bork it. And after that, you can maybe try to get some supporters. Some people that want to support the project or support the thing. Maybe they want to have access to beta for a small price. I don't know. Something like a Patreon support, but differently. And just go from there. You know what I mean? Investigate. Eliminate. And masturbate. Yeah, no linear sound, that's exactly what we did, right? You can actually re-watch the stream later on if you want, but no linear sound, what we did is you have version 1, you compile, you deploy version 1, you compile, you deploy version 2 to your application, but then you make a mistake, for example, version 2 is borking, and you can instantly roll back to version 1. Boom. So fast that you can programmatically roll back. So you can call the API, for example, from in your application on error that rollbacks your app to version 1, boom, instantly. You know what I mean? You should not upgrade a running app, says Valentin Montmiral. Of course you do. But it's the way it's going to get handled that's important, right? Because if you have one... If you're going to replace... Like we do it right now, it's not going to be optimal. Because you're going to instantly replace a running WASM instance. That's actually bad. right? Because you're gonna point. Well, actually, it's not stopping, right? It could be that the user is already busy, but you just point to something else because we have a proxy. Actually, listen. So what we do is this, right? So this is our app. I'm gonna call it a blob, WASM blob, right? Blob runtime, right? And it's gonna serve a request right now. It's serving a request. But you wanna roll back, or you're gonna upgrade to your. If I drag over here, it should actually select also the square. Why not? It's a good app, but I don't know. Version 1. That's what's already happening right now. It's actually pretty cool. God fucking damn it. Version 2. Right. So if a user is here, where we have a proxy, right? That basically means that our proxy. Wait, user. That's not true. Alright, let's do some Bezier curves, why not? Man, stop it. So a user makes a request to the proxy, to our server, the 5000 one. It's gonna select where it's pointing. Oh, it's still pointing to version 1. Okay, serve that blob. But this user is still in request. He's still waiting for some kind of a swiping response from his Tinder date here. But we already point here. That basically means that new incoming. I am so bad at diagrams. I'm so bad. How can I actually pass? But then a new request comes in. That will be here. But this guy will still be served, right? This container is not gone. This environment. Wait. Now we're thinking here. What happens with these environment variables? The moment you swapped here, app will have different environment variables. This guy is trying to do an OS getAnv my secret Tinder date, and it's gonna be something completely different. Actually, a good question. You see, so you need to do these exercises from time to time. So he's still doing stuff. Code is still running. OS getAnv. But there is a new env because we deployed version 2. Okay, I have the solution. We're gonna basically... Or we're gonna each deploy will copy environment and the env vars from the first one. Or like Mario said, just make a clean state. Whatever. Just fuck environment variables. New deploy, new version, new environment variables. Or copy the old ones and new ones or something like that. That basically means that environment variables should be tied to the version. So we can point to a new one directly without requests that are still happening on version 1. They're still in version 1. They're still waiting. Will not be borked. We cannot share the state. We cannot do that. Env var should only be read or stale. That's true, but who is... that's completely true. No, we can't. No, guys, this is not a problem. We can just use a global thing because we load this environment. Look at this, guys. What I'm a legit idiot. Runtime. I'm loading these envars. Here, there is a to-do somewhere. Where is this? Wait. I'm here to do env. I need to load these envars in here on startup. So they cannot be overwritten at runtime. They can't. They can never be overwritten at runtime. So we don't need to take care. It's fine. It's all good. GG. Well played. We can just we don't need to be worried. We can actually, for each deploy, we just dump some extra environment variables in it. And each time you roll back or you upgrade, you're going to have the correct environment variables that you need, which does not say that you're going to have more environment variables than actually needed. That's the same thing that happens right now, right? If you do on your, of course, on a Docker container, you always set them true. But each Docker container redeploy, but that's not the same thing. Try to deploy a Docker container, it takes ages, right? That's not the same thing as this. You cannot compare Docker, Kubernetes, or any other thing like this because it's like a function, you know what I mean? It's like, But we should compare it. I'm gonna think about it. Leave it in the comments. This is a good discussion. Leave it in the comments how it should work. Yeah, so guys, we don't need to worry because we set the environment variables on runtime. So we don't need to worry. Because a new version is a new container, you know what I mean? Oh no, we don't need to worry because he's already started with the environment variables from the database. Version 2 starts, which will get the new envars. So they will run an ISO. Yeah, okay, it's fine. No need to worry about that. All good. The only thing that I really need to test as soon as possible is this thing under load. I really want to test that. Not locally, right? But on some kind of a machine. And test it under load to see, especially the memory. And that's why I need to limit it. But I can start the runtimes with a specific pages of memory in the WASM, right? The WASM works with the memory pages, which are 64 kilobytes. WASM memory page. Says okay. Wait. 10 pages. $640 kilobytes. Yeah, something like that. Not quite sure. Like I'm completely dyslexic on kilobytes, bytes, bits. It's like it doesn't really matter. That thinking on a Friday before the year will change. Yeah, and I'm not feeling too well. But it's a good exercise. So now I actually know I need to think a little bit. Maybe a little bit more about these envars. But I think if we just... How do we call that? Union them. It should be fine. Union and replace. That should be the play. So give this a fork, please. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to change the name. Not quite sure how. And what name. I'll also give Hollywood a fork. And a follow. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks everyone for being here. I wish everybody a very good, happy New Year ending. Or a happy New Year already, you know what I mean? To be honest, actually, I don't like to wish people happy birthday. I don't like to wish people happy New Year. And the reason why is because why should I wish you a happy New Year? I'm the first one. There is nothing fundamentally changing. The same. I hate when I basically completely removed my birthday on Facebook because I don't want people to celebrate me with my birthday. People you never hear from the whole year. You don't hear them. You don't see them. You post pictures of your marathon. Oh yes, I finished my marathon, yada yada yada, I trained hard for it. Nobody responds. But when it's your fucking birthday, the whole fucking crew responds. Happy birthday! Fuck you! You know what I mean? I don't want to have a happy birthday. I want to celebrate people for good things. Hey, you went to the gym, man. Hey, nice job, man. Amazing. A new PR, amazing, man. Congratulations. Oh, I'm dieting. Good job. Oh, I'm trying to find a better job. I'm trying to build something. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Not happy birthday. It's the same day as it was yesterday. So New Year, Monday, is going to be the same fucking day as today. You know what I mean? The same problems will occur. You will still be lazy and fat or jacked. You will be the same person. Exactly the same. Nothing's going to change. Right? Maybe you're going to have new goals. But why should your new goals start on Monday? You know what I mean? Why? Why not today? I'm gonna quit smoking on Monday. No, I'm still smoking because I don't quit, you know, because I know that if I say I'm gonna stop smoking on Monday, it will not happen because I'm not ready for it in my brain. You know what I mean? I wish I do actually. Well, I stopped smoking, but I'm still vaping. Which is the same bullshit, you know what I mean? It's the same bad thing, but still. Alright, guys. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed with your family. Yeah. Stay safe. And see you soon.